kind of itch to start with. Now that's like saying don't blink. As soon as you do it, you start blinking.
Ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Well, this is exciting. It's our first vlog. We have decided that we are going to be leaving Australia and moving overseas. There's quite a few logistics involved and it's going to take some planning. So we thought we might like to document the process, learn a few things along the way, and hopefully help some others. We're Matt and Ange, married, young at heart, and lovers of all things travel. Whether camping in nature, road tripping with our 2 dogs, or visiting the world's most amazing cities, we're always looking for our next adventure.
So come with us as we explore new places and watch as we navigate our big move from one side of the world to the other. We're ready to go anywhere, anyway. So as Ange mentioned, we are planning on moving overseas. It looks like Europe and more specifically Italy at this point. This is something that we've certainly talked about for a while now, at least a couple of years. We've kind of been tossing the idea. Once we started traveling again after COVID, we kind of had the realization that we could live overseas and work remotely, which is a huge advantage for us. And just maybe extend the way we travel or change the way we travel and really immerse ourselves in different cultures. And a few reasons, and in no particular order, why we are kind of planning on making the move. Cost of living is one for sure. We were in Southeast Asia just after COVID, and that's kind of when we did start talking about doing this. Now, obviously, we're not moving to Southeast Asia where it is incredibly cheap to live. We are moving to Europe where our dollar doesn't go quite as far, but we still feel like the overall cost of living will come down for us, and we will still be able to earn a good wage while we're over there. So that certainly helps.
Another reason we've decided on Europe is just for ease of travel between different countries. Being able to hop from country to country, speak a different language, eat different food, experience a completely different culture, is quite a novelty for us. I think being in Australia so far away from everything, it does take a little while for us to get from country to country when we do want to travel.
As Ange said, it is a long way, and I think until you've actually lived or traveled to Australia, it's hard to kind of really grasp how far away it is from just about everything. A couple of years ago when Ange was on a work trip in Thailand, I flew over to meet her, and it took 24 hours. Now, that's Southeast Asia, which is about as close to Australia as you can get. So unless you've lived here or until you've traveled here, I think it is hard to kind of get your head around just how far away everything is. It's 30 hours for me to get home to where I grew up outside of Toronto, and that's pretty much as quickly as you can get there. So it'll be nice to be kind of an 8-hour flight from home, I think, as well. We do also have my mother with us, so it'll be nice for her to be able to travel home a little more often as well. It's also very dog friendly. Now, that might seem silly to some people, but we do have 2 small dogs, Bonnie and Broderick, who will be coming with us. So that's a bit of a logistics nightmare in itself that we'll talk about. But just the ease of them being able to travel with us. Safety for the dogs as well is something that is a bit of a concern for us here in Australia when we do travel. There's obviously snakes and there's spiders. We did crocodiles when we lived up in Cairns was an issue for us. Another reason that we're thinking about Europe is we're looking for just a little bit more simple a lifestyle, I think. We both worked very hard to get away from the 9 to 5 in the office, and it's taken a few years for us to get to a point where we're both working from home and earning a wage that allows us to do what we're planning on doing. The idea of walking down to the local market and grabbing some fresh veggies and a loaf of bread and a bottle of wine is very appealing to us. Although we don't live in a big city here, there is still the mentality of living to work, and that's something that we really are trying to get away from. So just kind of a slower pace of life, the ability to sit out on the patio or your deck, or in the park or in the local cafe, and people watch, and just kind of slow down a little bit will be nice for us.
Probably one of the biggest reasons that I would like to move or to leave Australia and to move somewhere else is the personal growth involved. We know that it's not going to be easy moving to another country. It's not going to be easy moving to a place where we don't speak the language and we don't know anyone. We're leaving family and friends behind. We're leaving the comfort of our home. And we know that it's going to be difficult, but I think the challenges ahead are just going to make us stronger, and are going to be something really special to look back on.
So in the upcoming videos, we're going to go through a few things, including where it is we're actually planning on living. We have a couple of areas that we're looking at in Italy right now, but we're not really sure. Obviously, the ins and outs of visas is something that we need to look into as well. Timeframes that we're actually allowed to stay in Italy, where we can go to renew that time period. Like we said, we are very lucky in the fact that we work from home, so visas are going to be more of the digital nomad type, as opposed to somebody who actually needs to move to Italy and find work. So doesn't need to be a big city. As long as we have internet access, we'll be pretty happy as far as the work situation goes. We are also thinking about actually taking our own vehicle and shipping that over. We're looking at doing a trip to New Zealand for an extended period of time prior to going over to Europe. And the idea has come to us that we might ship our truck and our trailer over there and use it, and if that's something that's worthwhile. So a lot of things that we still need to figure out, and a lot of things that we need to look into.
We also need to finish renovating the house that we're currently living in, and then work out whether to sell or rent or Airbnb it.
The hard part is really just kind of starting for us now. It's the logistics, it's the paperwork, it's all the little ins and outs. So it's January 2025 right now, as we're sitting here making this video. We do have some travel already planned for this year, and that's obviously going to eat into some of the time and some of the budget as well. So we'll be sure to take you guys along on some of those trips with us. Really, we're kind of looking at it as about 6 months of time before we really need to kind of have all of our ducks in a row and kind of a plan in place on what's needed so that we can get out of here. So we certainly hope that you have enjoyed this little introduction to us, and hope we see you in our next video.
Well, can you not scratch?
Sorry, I had an itch.
So stop, just like hold it.